The second season of Squid Game has recently been released after years of anticipation, and while many iconic moments captured the attention of viewers, filming some of these was pretty difficult for the cast. Many of the challenges for the cast came from playing the games featured in the show for real. Similar to what happened in season 1, in the sequel, the Squid Game begins with red light, green light. Yim Shi-won, who plays the character of Myung-gi, explained that the cast had to actually play the game and confessed that standing still was much harder than he expected. He even said that most of the cast members wouldn't have been able to succeed if they played this game for real. Instead, in the show, many players complete the challenge following the instructions of the protagonist, Song Gi-hun, portrayed by Lee Byung Hun, who yells at the competitors to stand still. Jung confessed that he ended up hurting his throat after shouting like that, but the other members of the cast praised his ability to yell without losing his voice. The following game was the pentathlon challenge, and this was one of the most iconic parts of the second season. In this challenge, the competitors were divided into teams of 5, and they had to complete 5 different games before the time limit expired while their legs were tied together. It seems like this was one of the most enjoyable parts of filming for the cast, but it was also among the most difficult. The first challenge was gong-gi, a game already made famous by its appearance in the first season of Squid Game. In the show, Jun-hee, played by Jo Yuri, was able to flip the gong-gi on her first try, but she actually revealed that this was far from the truth. Yuri confessed that while filming, she couldn't flip the gong-gi despite many tries, so the director had to use CGI to make it look like she succeeded. In the second game, the players had to throw a rock to knock down another stone placed vertically. This was the game played by Young-shik, a character portrayed by Yang Dong-gun, and he revealed that he thought the director would just use CGI, but instead, he was told to play the game for real. Dong-gun felt a bit intimidated by this task, since hundreds of staff and cast members were watching him, but he was able to succeed anyway. The most talked about game of the pentathlon challenge is arguably gong-gi, in which players have to toss and catch small pebbles. This is the most difficult among the 5 games, and in the show it was played by Dae-ho, portrayed by Kang Ha Neul. In Squid Game 2, Dae-ho amazes the other competitors with his skills and speed while completing the challenge, but Ha Neul confessed that he wasn't actually the one doing all the tricks. He shared that he practiced a lot to play the game, but he still couldn't succeed. Ha Neul explained that since his pinkies are a bit separated from the other fingers, the pebbles kept falling between his pinky and his ring finger. Because of this issue, the director had to hire a gong-gi master to play the game instead, and Ha Neul felt relieved that he didn't have to complete the challenge himself. The gong-gi master was a man named Park Jong-nam, who had previously demonstrated his skills on Korean TV shows. He talked about his experience with Squid Game, sharing that Ha Neul helped him to calm down before and after the shoot, and he also gave him some bread as a gift. The next game was spinning top, and in the show, In-ho, played by Lee Byung Hun, fails the challenge multiple times and slaps himself again and again before finally succeeding. Byung Hun revealed that while filming this moment, he actually slapped himself quite hard, but he wasn't too worried about the pain. Instead, since the scene had to be filmed 3 times, he was worried that the bruises he was inflicting himself would become visible. In the end, the makeup was enough to cover the bruises, but there was another unexpected issue while filming this scene. Lee So-hwan, who plays the part of Jong-bae, revealed that Byung Hun was actually too good at the game and he was able to make the top spin every time, even though he was supposed to fail. Even when throwing the top with his eyes closed and backward, he still succeeded every time. Byung Hun explained that he actually had some problems with this challenge since he's right-handed while his character is left-handed. He was worried that this would result in him failing over and over, so he practiced for months and ended up becoming good at the game. The final challenge of the pentathlon was Jegi Chagi, a game in which players have to kick a kind of shuttlecock called Jegi to keep it from falling. This was another hard challenge for the cast, and in the show, the game was played by various notable characters such as Myung-gi and Gi-hun. Siwon explained that he practiced non-stop for 2 days, but he wasn't able to kick the jagi in the correct way, so he decided to kick it with his legs straight instead, and this ended up working perfectly for him. Jung-jae also shared that he had to practice a lot to play this game, and at one point he always carried the jagi with him so he could practice more. After the pentathlon challenge, the next game for the competitors was Mingle, in which the players had to divide themselves into groups and enter the designated rooms. A notable moment during this game is when Young-shik gets separated from his mom, Gumja, played by Kang Ae Shim, before they finally reunite. Ae Shim revealed that filming this moment was emotionally heavy for her, and she couldn't neither laugh nor cry. When they re-watched this scene together, both Ae Shim and Dong-gun ended up crying, which shows just how much the touching storyline of the two characters has impacted them. Dong-gun actually revealed that this moment was so heavy that he felt uncomfortable, and at one point, he almost turned down the role because he didn't want to act in this scene. He even confessed that he felt sick just thinking about this moment, and he kept being reminded of his own mother. But in the end, he was still able to film the scene successfully. The second season of Squid Game not only included new games, but also numerous new characters. One of the most notable additions was No-ul, a North Korean defector who works as a guard and is played by Park Gyu-young. She talked about her character, expressing how excited she was to play one of the guards, while many expected her to be a competitor. Because of her unique role, her experience while filming was a bit different than that of most of the cast. For example, she filmed her part during the red light, green light games separately from the rest of the cast, so she had to act while imagining the competitors playing the game. Gyu-young also explained that a staff member taught her how to hold her weapon and how to breathe while using it, and it turned out to be much more difficult than she expected. While many new characters from the second season quickly became iconic, the show also put a lot of focus on returning characters, such as the frontman, In-ho, who joins the games while disguising himself as one of the players. Byung Hun explained that he tried to act like one of the players in the game without making it too obvious that he was actually the frontman. Since his part in season 1 was very different, being a competitor felt unfamiliar and new for Byung Hun, and it took some time for him to get used to his new role. He confessed that one of the most difficult moments to film was the scene in which In-ho tells Gi-hun that he joined the game because his pregnant wife has a severe illness. Byung Hun explained that his character has multiple personalities, and in that scene, he wasn't sure if he should be more genuine or if he should take In-ho's confession as one of his many strategies. Choosing which one of In-ho's personalities to emphasize in each scene proved to be quite a challenge for Byung Hun, and he had to pay close attention to every detail. In the end, he was satisfied by his performance and even praised his own acting. Another iconic character that has become well known since the first season is the game recruiter played by Gong Yoo, who made a return in the sequel and played an important role in the first episode. Gong Yoo's performance in this role has received widespread acclaim, and his acting has been described as insane and groundbreaking to the point that some are calling him the Korean Joker. One of the most notable moments featuring Gong Yoo is the scene in which the recruiter and Gi-hun play a game of Russian roulette at the end of the first episode. Jung explained that this scene has a very cinematic feel, and the production team crafted this moment carefully. They didn't want it to feel too dramatic since it was just the first episode, but they still wanted to create intrigue and suspense. Jung shared that he put a lot of thought into how to calibrate his emotions and his voice to capture the feeling that he wanted to communicate to the viewers. He definitely succeeded, and this scene became iconic also thanks to Gong Yoo's incredible performance. Jung expressed high praise for his co-star, describing him as charismatic and mischievous, but also frightening at the same time. Despite the many challenges, the cast had a lot of fun filming Squid Game 2, and their effort has been repaid by the success of the show, which has topped the Netflix viewership charts in every country.